So my name is Yixiong, and I'm working with the Department of National Defense. And fortunately or unfortunately, I'm on the organizational committee this year. And during the months of February and March, when we were talking about topics for a workshop and whatnot, one of the topics has came up is how to survive in a multi-generational workforce. And here I am as a millennial, I think, and I thought, what a wonderful idea it is to collaborate with my colleagues and former colleagues at PSPC to talk about this topic. And here we have Gabriel Jacavan, our former student, and also Nicolas Thibault, senior analyst with PSPC. In fact, I was supposed to be here on a robot today, which Nick's supposed to borrow, and I'm supposed to be at Starbucks and connected via internet to see you guys, but unfortunately he forgot to borrow the robot, and I'm here in the old way, seeing you guys in person. So let me pass the mic to the person who's responsible for borrowing the robot and didn't do it.
Bonjour à tous, mon nom est Nicolas Thibault. Je suis représentant pour le réseau des jeunes pour travaux publics. Puis une des choses qu'on veut vraiment pousser, c'est l'innovation dans le milieu de travail. Puis on est très content qu'RPIC a mis en place beaucoup de workshops qui touchaient les éléments d'innovation. Puis aussi on sait que notre haute gestion, comme des gens comme Kevin Radford ou encore Sonia Powell, pousse beaucoup pour l'innovation dans le milieu de travail. C'est quelque chose qu'en tant que Millennial, on veut voir dans le milieu de travail, vu qu'on va devenir la plus grosse génération dans le milieu de travail, donc on veut un milieu de travail qui nous représente. Sur ce, on va vous présenter, ou on va laisser le micro à une de nos prochaines stars, Gabrielle.
Salut, bonjour. So, I was at a youth networking event this past June, and I had done the unthinkable, according to my baby boomers and Gen X coworkers. I had gone up to the microphone and asked our DM, why should I choose to start my career at the public sector rather than in the private sector, when there are so many ongoing issues? Those issues could be the lack of modern technology, the not so modernized workplace, and the biggest one of all, the pay system. I'm sure you can all relate. So I'd gone on to tell her about my pay issue, and the problem was resolved within 2 hours. I didn't realize why what I had done was such a big deal. I went up to the mic, and I asked our DM, I shared with her my concerns. But then I realized I hadn't followed the process. I deviated from what we were supposed to do, and I'd broken the hierarchy. So, a millennial is a person born between 1980 and the year 2000. Being born in 1995 and having worked for about 2.5 years in the federal sector, I've had some experience working with baby boomers, Gen Xers, and millennials like myself. We're not worse, we're not better, we're all just different. So to prepare for this, I interviewed a couple of my colleagues to see what their general opinion was. What I found out was, every single generation thinks they're the best. The way they do things is the way things should be done. Now that's not necessarily true. So for those who haven't had the chance to work with millennials yet, here's a quick overview. Some of our assets. We're hopeful. We are tech savvy. Can I take a selfie? We are fast-paced. We find information at the push of a button, and we're collaborative. We love teamwork. Some of our stereotypes: we're impatient when things don't work. We are entitled. After several years of study, we want to start off with the highest possible job without necessarily going through the entry-level positions. We're spoiled and we're disrespectful. We question everything. We grew up hearing, follow your dreams, do what you love, and work together. So each generation is different from the one beforehand, and I hope that after today you can have a better understanding of each other, leading to a stronger, more effective workplace. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Gabrielle Jarawan. I am a 20-year-old civil engineering student at U Ottawa in my final year. Nicolas Tifo and Yixiong, my co-presenters, hired me about a year and a half ago to join their team at Real Property Services within PSPC. Being millennials themselves, it was a dream working alongside them. Working with somebody who grew up listening to the same music, watching the same TV shows, was being basically raised in the same era, made work a lot easier. With each new generation at work, it does bring a new onset of communication issues. So I was able to focus in on a couple of the stereotypes between each generation after having talked to my colleagues. So the baby boomers work more in terms of a hierarchy, so it's more of a sir, yes sir attitude, while the millennials are all about networking. It's making connections, it's going up to senior management and introducing yourself. The Generation X will tend to work independently, while the boomers want to do everything in teams. The millennials want to do everything in teams. Sorry, I'm not used to public speaking, I'm more used to group messaging. So, the baby boomers don't seem to retire, and the the Gen Xers want to work, make money, and get out. So the Government of Canada has tried for several years now to get the youth interested in working for them again. They've tried to attract us by using some stereotypes, such as social media. They've tried to integrate Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter in our day-to-day activities. They don't seem to realize that we use LinkedIn for professional networking. What we do want, however, is Wi-Fi. High technology. That could be a laptop or a smartphone. We want technology and softwares that can be delivered within a reasonable time frame. We shouldn't have to wait 2 to 3 months for something that we need to work on a daily basis. We are the Apple generation. We want intuitive tools. We don't need training, and if we have any questions, we'll find the answer on Google. We want to tear down the verticality of our organization. So hierarchy, the way it was before, was mostly going up one link at a time. Networking is a spider web of connections. It's not that we don't respect authority, we just don't make much of hierarchy. We'd rather look out for information rather than look up for information. So we've gathered a list of Working with Millennials 101 tips to make your workplace a bit more dynamic and to prepare you for what's to come. So for the first one, and this applies to any generation, give us the appropriate tools. Wi-Fi, laptop, smartphone, that could be an iPhone, a more reliable network. The second one, text your millennials. You will get a faster response and your mailbox will not be flooded. Trust me, that's how Nick and I used to work, and it was perfect. Give us goals and incentives. Empower us by letting us present our own ideas, lead meetings, trust in the work we do and in our capabilities. We will surprise you. So we're also very used to multitasking. I could be giving a TED Talk, taking a selfie, listening to Accurant, and wondering where Isabelle got her shoes. We're used to working in unfavorable conditions. Trust us to go into quiet spaces when need be, but let us work in places other than our workstations, like Starbucks. Work hard, play hard. People seem to forget that work is somewhere we spend 40 plus hours of our weeks. We want to enjoy the place we work. We don't want to have to dread coming into work. We want to do activities, we want to bond with our coworkers. I know that when I do go out with my team, we still spend most of the time talking, but it's much more enjoyable with a drink in our hand. And finally, work-life balance isn't only for millennials with kids. We were used to cramming our lives on a daily basis when we were young, whether it's going from soccer lessons to school, to piano lessons, to swimming lessons. We want the same in our adulthood, in our workplace. We want to work hard, but we want to enjoy going out with friends and family, doing activities, playing on sports teams. We want to achieve at work and in life. So the question still stands. Will the millennials choose to work in the private sector or in the public sector? Only time will tell. Thank you.